Alright, so this one's a bit different from my usual content. Today I want to talk about something a little more personal. My top 12 favorite YouTube channels. These are the ones I keep coming back to. Whether I'm eating, editing, working, or just trying to relax after a long day. Some of them make me laugh, some teach me things I didn't know, and a few of them honestly change the way I see the world. This isn't some generic top list, it's based entirely on what I actually watch and enjoy. So if you're looking for some new channels to get into, or just want to compare notes, here's what I've got. Number 12. ZFranks. ZFrank's content lives in a strange but brilliant space between educational and deeply absurd. His True Facts series is his trademark. Each video zooms in on an animal or creature, and while you think you're about to watch a nature documentary, he immediately flips it on its head with layered sarcasm, weird analogies, and anthropomorphic takes that are really funny. He doesn't just narrate facts, he delivers them in a way that feels like he's mocking both the subject and himself at the same time. The pacing is fast, the edits are tight, and the humor can go from highbrow wordplay to poop jokes in the same breath. His voice is so captivating that you might just mistake him for Morgan Freeman at first. And what really stands out is how accurate the facts are despite the chaotic tone. You end up laughing and learning at the same time without realizing it. Number 11. AntsCanada. I never imagined I'd be so fascinated by ants. Now I'm oddly obsessed with them. This channel turns tiny ant colonies into epic cinematic adventures. You'll find yourself rooting for these little insects and getting drawn into their world. He's got lots of vivariums, each with its own ecosystem, and filled with not just ants, but different kinds of animals. Some of them coexisting and some at war with each other. AntsCanada doesn't just show ant farms, it tells stories. Every ant colony introduced on the channel becomes its own little nation, with a name, personality, and often an entire narrative arc. There's a deep sense of drama in how each video is presented. From introducing a new queen to dealing with territory wars, the videos are structured like episodes of a survival show. There's narration with cinematic music, close-up footage of ants tunneling, hunting, or being introduced to new environments. Some episodes dive into the science of ant behavior, while others focus purely on drama, like betrayals between colonies or sudden die-offs. There's a strange emotional attachment built through the way each colony is named and followed through its journey. Each of his videos is relaxing, engaging, and surprisingly addictive. It's like watching a nature documentary with a unique twist. Number 10. Blacktail Studio. Blacktail Studio videos are slow, methodical, and deeply satisfying to watch. Most of the content revolves around woodworking, particularly epoxy resin tables, furniture restoration, or intricate joinery techniques. What makes it unique is the pacing and tone. It's not hyper-edited or packed with jump cuts. Instead, it feels like stepping into a workshop with someone who's not just talented, but calm, precise, and honest about mistakes. When a piece cracks or a cut goes wrong, it's not edited out. It's explained, repaired, and made part of the story. Cam, the creator, explains every step clearly, using calm voiceover and close-up camera angles that emphasize the textures of wood, tools, and finishes. There's an ASMR-like quality to the sanding, planing, and epoxy pouring. It's a mix of craftsmanship and comfort viewing, where the reward isn't just the final product, but the quiet confidence of the process. His attention to detail and the way he embraces imperfections make his videos both informative and incredibly relaxing. I love watching his videos before I sleep, as they really calm me down and puts me in a good mood. His videos are the perfect way to end the day. Number 9. Gigguk. Gigguk blends anime commentary with unapologetically chaotic energy. His content ranges from reviews and seasonal anime roundups to full rants about anime culture or industry trends. He uses rapid-fire editing, self-deprecating humor, and cultural comparisons to make every topic feel accessible and hilarious. He'll roast a show for being overly dramatic, then follow up with a heartfelt monologue about why it still matters. One of his strengths is capturing that weird intersection where anime is both art and absurdity. His skits and visuals often involve extreme exaggerations, cutaway gags, and anime reaction cliches turned into punchlines. Yet despite the jokes, there's a real sense that he cares about anime deeply and wants to share that passion, even if it means making fun of it. His seasonal previews have become staples for fans trying to decide what to watch next, and his ability to speak as both a fan and a critic makes the channel feel like a trusted friend. I personally have found so many gems just watching his videos, shows I'd never even considered before. Number 8. Best ever food review show. Sunny, the host of this channel, takes viewers on food and culture trips across the world, often in places that don't show up in typical travel vlogs. The heart of the channel is curiosity and cultural respect. Whether he's trying fermented fish in Iceland, scorpions in Thailand, or joining families for home-cooked meals in war-torn regions, every video feels like more than just food. It's about people. The editing is fast, colorful, and punchy, with a mix of humor and emotional depth. Sunny's personality is energetic but grounded. He'll joke about weird textures or smells, but never disrespects the culture he's in. What sets the show apart is how much time they spend with locals, visiting markets, farms, kitchens, and street vendors, not just restaurants. There's a clear effort to show how food connects to tradition and survival, not just taste. It's fun and funny, but also surprisingly human. I can tell you that some of the dishes he's showing you will never even consider a food. Number 7. Abroad in Japan. Chris Broad's channel is part travel documentary, part dry British comedy routine. What started as a YouTuber project about teaching English in Japan evolved into full-scale explorations of Japanese life, food, history, and culture, all delivered with his signature sarcasm. Videos range from visiting hidden villages or abandoned theme parks to reviewing vending machines or weird convenience store snacks. His style is carefully edited, scripted, and cinematic, often with drone footage, slow pans, and moody music. But he'll undercut every emotional beat with a dry joke or some perfectly delivered deadpan line. He also does mini documentaries, like The Lost World of Gunkanjima, and fun collabs with other creators like Natsuki the Japanese guy, who brings chaos to Chris's calm. You feel like you're watching a BBC-quality travel show that's been hijacked by someone too self-aware to take it seriously, and that's the magic of it. Number 6. Daily Dose of Internet. This channel is like a tiny daily reset button. Each video is a curated compilation of the most fascinating, heartwarming, bizarre, or flat-out hilarious clips from around the internet, all tied together by a calm, neutral voiceover. The editing is clean and tight, no fluff, no filler, just a consistent flow of short, impactful clips that usually don't last more than 30 seconds each. One video might start with a man teaching his cat to say, "Mama," jump to a perfect landing from a skydiver, and end with a 3D printer creating edible pancakes shaped like cartoon characters. It feels like the best parts of Reddit, TikTok, and news bloopers condensed into a few minutes. The tone is always light, occasionally emotional, but never preachy or overly sentimental. The creator often includes a final wholesome or funny clip as a sort of cool down, which has become a signature style. It's not a channel you binge for hours, but one you return because it's comforting, quick, and reliably interesting. Number 5. Will Tennyson. Will's channel is like watching a fitness journey, narrated by your brutally honest, hyperactive friend. He doesn't pretend to be some perfect lifestyle guru. He dives into weird diet experiments, tough workouts, and even cheat days that turn into full food adventures. But what makes him unique is that he never takes himself too seriously. He talks through the pain, the cravings, the weird bathroom results, and he lets the camera roll when things go sideways. His editing is high energy, fast cuts, humorous captions, skits, reaction shots, and pop culture references layered over his fitness routines. You'll see him try to make a 4,000-calorie meal look healthy, then immediately regret it mid-bite. But beneath the humor, he's got real discipline, showing body progress, giving advice, checking in with mental health. His videos are equally entertainment and motivation, and it's easy to follow him not because he's flawless, but because he's real. Number 4. DamiLeeArch. I found her channel a year ago and it barely had any subscribers. It grew up so fast, and there is a reason for that. DamiLee, the host of this channel, is thoughtful, elegant, and intellectually playful. She doesn't just talk about buildings, she explores how architecture shapes human emotion, memory, and culture. Her videos dive into deep ideas like why death still needs space, or what Spirited Away teaches us about architecture, combining detailed architectural knowledge with anime, film, and storytelling. The visual editing is precise and beautiful, often mixing line drawings, on-screen notes, subtle textures, and gentle transitions. She speaks in a calm, articulate tone that makes complex design theory accessible without dumbing it down. You come away from her videos not just knowing more, but seeing the world differently. Why certain rooms make us feel cozy, why brutalist buildings feel intimidating, or how anime backgrounds evoke nostalgia and warmth. It's rare to find a channel that makes architecture feel personal, but she does it consistently. It's educational, but poetic, and there's this clear joy in how she connects ideas across media and life. Number 3. Let's Game It Out. Josh, the creator of this channel, doesn't just play games normally. He destroys them in the most entertaining ways possible. His entire brand revolves around pushing every system to its absolute limit, until it breaks in spectacular fashion. In city builders, he'll stack 4,000 toilets on a single villager. In survival games, he'll clone NPCs until the world implodes. It's carefully planned chaos, delivered in a sarcastic but totally serious voice that makes every moment hilarious. The visual editing is dense with quick zoom-ins, freeze frames, and reactions that emphasize how absurd his actions are. The pacing is tight, and there's never a dull moment. Something ridiculous happens every few seconds. What's brilliant is that underneath all the destruction is genuine understanding of game mechanics. He knows exactly how to bend systems, find exploits, and use tools in unintended ways. It's the kind of channel that doesn't teach you how to play a game. It shows you how far it can fall apart in the hands of a mad genius. Number 2. John Harris. Before I start talking about this channel, there's something I haven't shared with my subscribers. I used to work in the television industry for 8 years. I was a senior video editor for one of the branches of a TV channel in Romania. Over those years, I've worked closely with a lot of reporters and journalists. I also spent another 7 years in the United Kingdom, where I got to know even more journalists, both on and off camera. And based on all that experience, I can confidently say, none of the professional journalists I've met can compare to John Harris. Every one of his videos is grounded in facts, or at the very least, in documented and verifiable sources. One of the most fascinating things about his channel is his obsession with maps. And I don't mean he just throws a few maps on screen to look smart. He lives in them. He'll take an old, obscure map from decades ago, even centuries, and use it as the foundation to reconstruct an entire story. Borders, trade routes, power structures. He tracks how all these things evolve through time and ties them directly to the events he's analyzing. He doesn't just show maps, he reads them like diaries. You start realizing that every region, every shift in territory, every subtle line has a deeper meaning. His ability to interpret those small details and then build a full, engaging narrative around them is something I've rarely seen in journalism, let alone on YouTube. John Harris's channel is like sitting down with someone who not only understands a story, but knows exactly how to tell it. His content isn't flashy or chasing trends. It's steady, deliberate, and deeply researched. He covers topics that most channels would rush through in 5 minutes and turns them into thoughtful, compelling 30-minute documentaries. What makes his work so powerful is the way he frames everything through a human lens. Whether he's unpacking a political crisis, a tech failure, or some forgotten part of internet history, it always feels personal. His narration is calm, the visuals are simple and effective, and the structure of each video pulls you in, whether you know the topic or not. He never talks down to the viewer, but he also never overcomplicates things. It's like that one teacher who never had to raise his voice, but always had everyone's full attention. There's a quiet intensity behind everything he does. A focus, a respect for the subject matter, and a clear desire to get things right. I constantly learn things I've never even heard of from his videos. That level of consistency, clarity, and emotional intelligence is why his work stays with you long after you've watched. Number 1. Asmongold. Now, you might have heard of him, or maybe not, and honestly, you might love him or hate him. But for me, Asmongold is my number 1 pick because he genuinely feels like that one friend you can talk to about absolutely anything. Not just games, but real life, movies, memes, politics, frustrations, and everything in between. The way he talks and approaches topics is so down to earth and relatable that you can't help but get pulled into whatever he's saying, even if you don't fully agree. There are plenty of times I disagree with him, especially when he completely butchers some of my favorite games just because he misread something or skipped through a crucial bit of text. It gets on my nerves, but even then, I keep watching, because you can't deny it. He's just goddamn entertaining. He makes even the most basic moments feel like something worth watching. I discovered his channel only 2 years ago, and since then, I've been hooked. I can't get enough of his content, mostly because he covers everything, from gaming to gaming news, random internet memes, personal stories, weird community drama, and more recently, a ton of politics. And I'll be real, thanks to Asmon, I now understand more about American politics than I do about the ones in my own country, Romania. But it's not just the variety that keeps me coming back. It's how approachable it all is. His biggest strength is his honesty. He doesn't put on a face. He doesn't sugarcoat things. He doesn't hide when he's frustrated or when he's wrong. What he says often feels like what you are thinking but haven't put into words yet. He'll rant, he'll joke, he'll argue, and every now and then, he'll say something surprisingly insightful that actually sticks with you. It's like having a friend who talks non-stop, but somehow always keeps it interesting. I find myself playing his videos while I'm doing other work, like editing or working on client projects, because it just feels like someone's there talking while you're grinding away. His voice fills the space like a podcast, and somehow it helps me focus while also making the time pass faster. His content isn't fancy. It's usually just him in front of a webcam, maybe reacting to a trailer or reading Reddit. But the simplicity doesn't matter. You're there for him, for his voice and his personality. He can go on a 15-minute tangent about something completely off-topic, then snap right back into a reaction with perfect timing. There's a rhythm to his videos: debates, long rants, quick laughs, and moments of weird vulnerability that you don't expect, but really connect with. And look, even if you don't always agree with him, you believe him. That's why people watch him. He doesn't tell you what you want to hear. He says what he thinks, right there, unfiltered. And in a gaming world full of polished marketing, fake hype, paid reviews, and creators bending over backwards just to keep sponsors happy, Asmon's authenticity cuts through all of that like fire. He'll tell you when something sucks. He'll call out a lie. He'll point fingers at hypocrisy, even if it costs him views or partnerships. And honestly, I can't believe how real he manages to be considering how absurd his life has become. From the dead rat on his porch, to the cockroach crawling on him midstream, to that time he fell through the ceiling, his life sounds like satire. And yet, in a weird way, it's relatable. That chaotic mess, the cluttered room, the broken AC, it's a reflection of how a lot of us live, or at least feel. He's not pretending to be more than he is, and that's exactly why so many people connect with him. At the end of the day, Asmongold is that friend who you can talk to about anything. Even when you argue with him, even when he drives you crazy, you still want to hear what he has to say next. And that's why, for me, he's number 1 on my most watched YouTube channels. And that's it, my top 12 YouTube channels. I'm really curious if any of you have your own favorites. What are your top 3 channels that you keep going back to? The ones you watch while eating, working, procrastinating, or just vibing? Drop a comment. I'd love to check them out. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.